Hi, this is Crystal from Crystallized Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cocoon cardigan. I have a lot smaller chain here because it would be really hard to show you on a big one. So the repeats are the same, and I just have a smaller chain here. You're going to want to chain 160 and continue the repeats and the pattern as directed. So to start, we're going to work in the 7th chain from the hook. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7. So in this chain, I'm going to work a double crochet, and this last chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and work a double crochet into the same stitch, or same chain, pardon me, and then I'm going to repeat the chain 1 double crochet twice more in the same stitch. Oops. All right, so that is how that looks. Then I'm going to skip 5 chains and repeat that process. So 2, 4, 5. So in the 6th, I'm going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into the same chain and repeat that twice more. So you should have 4 double crochet with a chain in between them, like so. I'm going to skip 5 and repeat that again. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. Get my tail out of there. Double crochet. Okay, skip 5, 2, 4, 5. Insert my hook into that chain, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So now I will have 3 chains left, and I'm just going to double crochet into the last chain. And that is how row 1 will look, except a lot longer. So you have your double crochets with chains in between them, and then 2 double crochets on the end. So for row 2, we're going to chain 3 and turn. That counts as a double crochet. We're going to skip 1 chain 1 space and work into the 2nd chain 1 space. So in these double crochets, we're going to work into the middle of that, and we're going to work a puff stitch, chain 2, and a puff stitch, all in that one space. To do a puff stitch, I'm going to do this real quick, but I do have a tutorial on my blog. You yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. In this pattern, we're going to pull up the height of a double crochet, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over and pull up another loop. So you have all of these loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all the loops on your hook, and you're going to chain 1 to close. That is a puff stitch. Now, if you don't pull up a loop and you crochet tight, you're going to have a harder time pulling through all of those loops on your hook. Chain 1, and then I'm going to chain 2. And now we're going to work the 2nd puff stitch. Yarn over, and I'm going real quick here. Yarn over and pull through all the loops. Yarn over and chain 1 to close that stitch. We're going to skip the next 2 chain 1 spaces. Here's 1, here's 2. We're going to work the same thing in the middle right there. So we're going to do a puff stitch, pull through, and chain 1 to close. We're going to chain 2. Whoops. We're going to work the 2nd puff stitch, pull through, chain 1 to close. We're going to skip 2 chain 1 spaces, 2 puff stitch, chain 2, 1, 2, and a 2nd puff stitch, chain 1 to close. The chain 1 to close that stitch is actually part of the stitch. It's not considered a chain in this pattern. Skipping 2 chain 1 spaces, puff stitch, chain 2, second puff stitch, chain 1 to close, and we're at the end. What we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in the last double crochet. Now this is a chain 3 turn, but that's fine. We're going to double crochet into that because that is counted as the double crochet, and that is how the second row will look. For the third row, we're just going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to single crochet into the same stitch. We're going to chain 3, and in the chain 2 space, now I know this looks like a chain 3, that's because we chain 1 to close the puff stitch, but this is technically, because that chain 1 to close is part of the stitch, we're going to chain or double crochet into this chain 2 space. And again, it looks bigger than a chain 2 space, but that's what it is. We're going to chain 3. We're going to single crochet between these 2 puff stitches. Now we're going to create a picot. So we're going to chain 3, and in this pattern we're going to slip stitch into the side of the single crochet. So we're just going to slip stitch, and that created that stitch. If you need more of a tutorial on these stitches, that tutorial will also be linked. We're going to chain 3. We're going to double crochet into the chain 2 space. We're going to chain 3. We're going to single crochet between the puff stitches and then picot. Chain 3. Double crochet in the chain 2 space. Oops. Chain 3. Single crochet between the puff stitches. Picot. Chain 3. There's a piece of something in there. We're going to double crochet into the chain 2 space. Chain 3, and this turning chain is counted as a double crochet. We are going to single crochet into that, whoops, double crochet, and that is what row 3 should look like. Now we're going to continue to repeat the next few rows throughout the pattern. So we're going to basically do row 1 again, but without working in chains, but instead in stitches. For this row, for row 4, we're going to chain 3 and turn, and we're going to work into the double crochet. So we're going to double crochet into the double crochet, chain 1, we're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and that is how that looks. We're going to skip all the chains in the picot and the single crochet, and we're going to repeat that in all the double crochets across. So we're going to double crochet, we're going to chain 1 and double crochet, and then we're going to repeat that twice more. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to repeat that completely across. Again, yours will be a lot longer than this one. Oops, not chain 1. Right, 4 of them, yes. Okay, so last double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now that we're to the end, whoops, we are going to double crochet into the single crochet of the previous round, And that is how that looks. Now we're going to continue repeating row 2 and row 3, so the puff stitches will be in the middle, and then the next round, and continuously repeating that. So that is how you create the Cocoon cardigan. That is the stitch pattern. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. For all updates on incoming tutorials, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.